To make the assertion that a man needs to know his laws and study and become, expert on his laws in the amount of time he has. Well, you have to. My point is that I'm sorry, to be well informed of those laws. No one has time to do that. Nobody, because look at how.
Then that's your fault. That's your fault. Then
it's not. There's no fault. It can be assigned to how fast.
Ignorance of the law. They're not going to have sympathy on you because you don't know your rights and you don't right. If you're about to go through it and you sit there coming up with an excuse, well, I ain't got time to figure it out, then that's on you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. There's not enough time to become a well-informed subject matter expert on your family law rights by the time that you get into that courtroom is what I'm saying. And that's just a fact. You didn't have to because you had an attorney. The majority of men can't afford attorneys, so they have to go be self-taught and self-study.
Even if I had an attorney, even if I had an attorney, I can't just let the attorney do all the work and don't think I had to have some type of knowledge before going there. Because my lawyer could be one of them lazy motherfuckers and want to do bare minimum and not say anything and just allow me to get fucked.
But I'm not going
to go out like that. So yes, I inform myself. So when he's telling me certain things, I can follow. I have an understanding. Okay. And then if I didn't, I ask questions. I'm not going to sit there like a lump on a wall and just allow this shit to happen. And me not ask questions, me not being inquisitive, what's happening, what's being done, why are we doing this? Why are we putting it off? Why we got a contingency in our court? Well, let's get this shit over.
Do you know why you didn't have to do discovery? Like you didn't have to provide your phone records because you weren't able. You didn't have to establish your position in that child's life. When you have to give those phone records and emails, pictures and videos, that's part of the discovery that you have to have because again, you have to establish your position in that child's life. So if your attorney, if you didn't have to do
when you say position, what do you mean? We had established fraternity?
No, that established that you were a present in his life. So if the mom is not saying that you weren't present or you weren't around, then they're not going to make you share that in discovery. But in Will's case, they will because his experience, he had to establish his presence in that child's life before he could establish those custody rights. I mean,
here's the other thing. I think like, I used to get on you brothers on King Talk all the time because we just like to talk on the surface, right? We just talk, right? But I say, let's make it teaching moments so somebody can actually learn something. It doesn't help anyone saying, learn the laws of your state. Tell us, without going into crazy detail, right? Tell us two things. I got two questions for you. First question is this. Were you and your kid's mother, were y'all well off financially during this time, or were y'all early on where y'all didn't really have no money?
No.
It's real easy to deal with custody battles when everybody broke. It's real easy, super easy. That's the best time for guys to go for custody when everybody broke. Second thing, can you tell us what are some of the things you learned that helped you by being familiar with the laws of the state of Kentucky? That is something that we can benefit from.
So one of the things that I learned was I'm entitled to claim my child on taxes every other year. That was one of the things I learned. Another thing I learned is that when we have established the custody battle, there's, they're not going to change it unless now we have a side deal on the side. We can do that. Once it's set in stone. There's no changing it. There's no adjustment. You're not supposed to. Now, like I said, if you have a side conversation and y'all can agree to do it, cool. There's no change in this court. Once it's set, it's set. That's another thing I learned. Like when I was telling y'all.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Another thing I was telling y'all, like I said, when I did mine, I had to bring 2 months worth of check stubs. So you get paid every week. I had to bring all them check stubs. I had to bring any checking, any savings, my retirement, what my pension would be at that moment, my 401k, what 457, my 457 Roth, what I had invested in that moment. All of that I had to bring to the forefront. Did I provide insurance? How far did I live from my daughter? If I live a long distance, they count all of that. What other benefits that I was providing, like dental, visual, all that I had to bring proof that I provide all of those things. If not, I would have had to pay more in child support But being that I had insurance for, being that I had dental and vision, I paid a little bit less as far as the child support because I provided all those things.
So I'm asking you, what did you learn about the legal system? Not, we all know what you just said, right? Everything you just said is almost common knowledge. Now, I'm not saying
not everybody knows it. Not
No,
everybody knows it.
I'm not saying everybody knows it. What I'm saying is the state of Kentucky. Tell us something about, because you keep saying familiarize yourself with the laws. I'm saying, what did you learn about the state outside of you can file your kid on your taxes every other year? Because I can tell you this much: in Georgia, you cannot do that. The custodial parent gets to file them every year, so you don't get to alternate on who gets to file them. So you tell me what, and if that law has changed, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Maybe I need to look into it.
So it's not a law, Will. It's a standard. The standard is that you can agree to whatever you want to.
Not a law. So can you tell us something about the laws that you learned that prepared you to help you win or fight or get a better position in your battle, in the custody battle?
So another thing is she could not move out of town unless she has my okay in order to move.
Yeah,
that was another thing that I learned.
Can I ask a quick question to Hank to qualify something real quick?
Most situations they can't go more than 100 miles.
I got a buddy in another state said, and she was allowed to pick up and move and didn't have to say anything because she had primary custody.
Yeah.
So
that was a different state, right? So you learned that, so it helped you, right? So cool. So what I'm saying to you is these things didn't help you with a custody battle. These just help you understand the parameters around the agreement when the ink dries. So you don't get the leverage. Oh, you can't move out of state to help you in your custody battle. It just, once the custody is determined, these are the parameters. Hey, custodial parent, you can't leave the country without the other parent knowing. The kids cannot leave. They cannot leave domestically. You can't leave the state. If they travel outside of 100-mile radius of your home, he must be notified or she must be notified. These are things that go into effect when custody has been established. These are not things that help you in your custody battle. Unless the woman is trying to move, like y'all going through a battle and she got a job overseas or something she's trying to take, and you can use that, be like, hey, she's trying to take my kids out the country. And you can use that to strong arm her to stay, but you can't, it's not something that you're using to help you win custody per se, because she didn't take the job.
Well, that did though, because she was trying to move in order to maintain her custody when she tried to move to Indiana. So when she tried to do that, I said no. She wasn't able to move without my clearance. So yes, that situation did.
That was after custody was established, right?
No, she tried to do it before.